even a guy like Mel Blanc, for example, right? Who is obviously he was a legend and he did so many cool things. And he was also a guy too to kind of pioneer the voice acting and bringing those characters to life as
Oh,
well.
sure.
But you also got to voice some of the characters that he did, like Bugs Bunny, for example, in Space Jam. So like I guess I want to know like how do you honor his original performance, but also kind of give that new life as well? What do you kind of do to give it your own take?
Well, first of all, I got to work with Michael Jordan, the closest thing to a religious figure that we have. um,
Classic.
I just was going by everything that I saw as a kid, everything I grew up with. There was only three channels when I was growing up, and everything was in black and white. And and you had these old television sets, but when they showed a Warner Brothers cartoon, and believe me, they were shitty prints. There was nothing 4K, didn't exist. It's like it was a film of another film,
Hmm.
copies. And they lost a generation every time. So by the time you saw it, it was just like dreadful, but it didn't matter because it was a cartoon and it was cool. And you could hear those beautiful voices and characterizations that he came up with. Um, so that knocked me for a loop when I was a kid. I had a really awful childhood, and that was one of the joys in life was gravitating towards something I could count on.
Hmm.
Knowing it that it'll be great, it'll be cool if I see this. I already know it's gonna, you know, set me on fire.
Bugs Bunny to me, I think, is one of the most iconic cartoon characters of all time too. So I guess for you to
Yes,
voice someone like that, it must have been such an honor just to even take that character and give it new life as well, give it your own.
it was surreal,
Mhm.
but I did audition for it a few times, and I got the part, and I thought, wow, I'm just gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna, you have to pick a certain bugs from a certain era, which one
Mhm.
you're gonna do. And we arrived at one that was sort of like from the late 50s or 1958 when they were still doing those cartoons. Um, Nobody could replace Mel Blanc, really. I mean, as far as like how he created those voices, every one of those characters can act. And that's an important thing about doing voice characterizations. You have to be able to know what to do with them, how to move them around and place them and interpret them. And you gotta understand how acting works.
There's a whole formula to it in
Because you
people's
want it
head.
you want it to ring true, and people are very savvy. They smell bullshit, and they when it doesn't ring true, they know it right away. So you
Absolutely.
gotta you gotta keep uh, pushing the bar higher, in my estimation.